Welcome back, it's FTS. I'm in the kitchen again. I got my wok out. We're about to do something innovative and fun. Stir fry. Check out my ingredients. Green bell pepper, red bell pepper, cucumber, green beans, baby carrots, broccoli, lemon, asparagus, Vidalia onion, croutons, shrimp. You already know what that is in the back. That's that OB. If you don't know, you better do some research. I got a half teaspoon of Himalayan pink salt, half teaspoon of cayenne pepper, quarter teaspoon of powdered ginger. I have olive oil and soy sauce. You ready? First, I'm going to start by seasoning my shrimp. So you know I got to start with that OB. I don't have a choice. Now it's up to your discretion in terms of how much OB you want to go with. I like to go heavy because that's going to give you that flavor that you're looking for. And what you do is once you put your OB on, you just want to turn your shrimp with your fingers. You know, get that OB in there. Get it right. Just let it marinate. That's what we're doing. Gotta let that thing marinate a little bit. And I'll set those to the side. Next, we're gonna work with these croutons. Now before I continue, let me stop and say this. I know a lot of people right now probably saying, man, what are you doing putting croutons in a stir fry? I'm gonna show you. Gotta dare to be different. So the first thing I'm gonna do with these croutons, I'm gonna sprinkle some olive oil. Just lightly, not too much. Just enough to kind of let that olive oil soak into those croutons. It's gonna bring out an aroma and a flavor. Now, of course, there's several different types of croutons on the market that you can get. I have croutons that have garlic salt already sprinkled in. So it has a garlic flavor. And then you add that olive oil. That's gonna bring all of that out when we begin to cook. Next, we're gonna start working with our vegetables. First thing I'm gonna cut is my cucumber. And mind you, I'm not going to use this whole cucumber. So I'm just gonna cut about 1/5 of a section off of it because that's really about all I'm using. And you know, when you cut your cucumber, of course, there's several ways you can cut. However you choose to do it. What I like to do is try to cut my cucumber as thinly as possible. And if you're really good with a knife, you won't have any problems doing that. So you really want to get it as thinly sliced as you can. And basically the goal is just to make sure you got enough to spread evenly in the wok once we begin to put everything in. Now what I'm gonna do is cut my cucumber slices in half pieces. That's really good to do when you're wok cooking because it's gonna give you more balance when you begin to serve. It's gonna give you a lot more balance when you begin to serve. So that's just the smart thing about cooking is you wanna basically cook where you're giving yourself the best flavor balance you can. And by cutting these cucumber in half slices versus putting them in as whole circular slices, you're giving yourself a lot more room to work with when it comes to flavor when you begin to eat. So we got our cucumber slice. Next thing we're gonna cut is our broccoli. Now with this broccoli, it's a lot of ways you can go about this. You can pull the stems off if you want to. I find it's better to cut like right around like the mid part of the stem, because you're technically just trying to get the heads of the broccoli. That's really what you want when you're cooking in the wok. So I'm just gently slicing the heads of the broccoli. Some nice cuts here. And as you can see, it's just kind of coming off really easy. So it makes it it's really easy job cutting broccoli. It's not even hard. You don't really even have to put a lot of force in your knife. You just got to slide it across each stem and it'll just come off. And I really like broccoli. It's really one of my favorite vegetables. So we've got our broccoli. Next, we're going to chop our green beans. And really, with these, it's really up to you in terms of how you want to chop them, in terms of like the size that you really are shooting for when it comes to putting them in the pot. I kind of like to really cut them in like maybe like thirds, because that way you're really working with a good balance of the vegetables that you already have and the green beans. So you see I'm going like trying to go really like thirds of all of these pieces of green bean that I have. Because everybody knows green beans are just great. You know, I grew up eating green beans. My grandma used to cook them all the time. It was almost like the side of choice, you know, maybe like 3 days a week. So green beans are good, man. I mean, they give you good nutrition, good vitamin and mineral content in green beans. So those are definitely great, especially when you're cooking in the wok. Next, I'm going to cut my asparagus. And I'll leave these right here on the board that I have them on. It really, you know, everybody looks at asparagus differently. I love asparagus. It just brings flavor to anything that you want to eat. You know, anything you want to put it with, it's going to bring flavor to it. I'm going to basically cut these in 4th sections. So you have the head section, we'll cut that. That's like a 4th. Then we get down into the stem. We're going to go right here. That's another 4th. And then we get down to the bottom part of the stem and we'll cut right here, and that's another 4th that we're dealing with. So we have our asparagus, and you definitely want to wipe off your knife after cutting each one of these vegetables. You know, of course, if I showed you everything that I'm doing, it would be a very extended version of the video. So to save time, you might not see me wipe the knife off, but just know it's best to wipe that knife off after you cut each vegetable, because these vegetables have different textures and some of them have seeds in them. So it's definitely to your advantage to wipe off the knife and rinse it before you begin to cut the next vegetable. Next, we're going to cut our green pepper. Now, of course, everyone is familiar with green peppers, any type of bell pepper. When you cut it, you can cut it how you want it. And, you know, for what I'm doing, I'm not going to use the whole bell pepper. I'm basically going to use half of each one. So what I'm going to do is just cut straight down the center. It's a lot of seeds inside these bell peppers. So one of the things you want to do is you really got to be careful with that. You see how when you open it up, it's a lot of seeds inside? So the best thing you can really do before you even start cutting it is to trim that seed section and get that out as cleanly as you can. Because at least that way you won't have a whole lot of seeds when you get your final product. And you can kind of get that out. You can rinse it out. You see how you got a little bit of seeds in there? And you can just rinse. I mean, you can rinse that out. That's no problem. So I've rinsed out the seeds. I've got my half green bell pepper here that I'm going to use. Now we'll move to our red bell pepper, and it's really the same process. We're just going to cut it in half. And of course, I'm going to use just one half of it. Of course, the first thing we need to do is oil our wok. So I'll take my olive oil, try to get a pretty even spread. And the other thing I'll do is I'll take a piece of paper and just wipe the oil around. It's good to do this just so you don't get any sticking. It's also good for the consistency of heat that you'll need during cooking. And of course, it reduces the cooking time too. So this is always a good practice. Now I'm going to turn my aisle on and I'll set it to 8. And that's going to allow the wok to heat up pretty quickly. So that way, once we get the vegetables going, everything will be in motion. So now that my wok is heated and ready, I'm ready to start putting in my vegetables. Broccoli first. Green beans second. Kind of get that working just a little bit. Now I'm going to hold off on the cucumbers for right now. And I'm going to move to my asparagus. The reason why is because the cucumbers, you know, they're pretty light, so you don't want to burn them. So it's probably better to put those on in just a little bit later. So I'm going to put my asparagus in. Then I'm going to go with my green peppers. Then I'm going to go with my carrots. red peppers. Now we're gonna go with our onions. And I'm gonna bring my lemon over here because you know that's for the squeeze up. So next, we're gonna go ahead and put the cucumbers in. You know, you just want to get a little spread going. Of course, once you start stirring with the spoon, everything's gonna get mixed pretty well. Now I'm going to put my shrimp in. And they've been marinating for at least 5 minutes, so they're doing pretty well. We can just spread these around as you like. Make sure you get that remaining juice that's left from that marinade and that oil in. We just put our shrimp in. We got that sizzle working. The next thing we're gonna do is put our croutons in. And this is a specialty. This is like a one-time thing that you're gonna see right here on Ep3-Southern in the kitchen. Hey, who you know put croutons in stir fry? You know what I mean? That's something new. But your boy did it. He did that. And good thing about these croutons is they've been marinating in that olive oil for a little bit. So the olive oil is soaked in and we cooking, you know what I mean? But wait. Let me get my lemon squeeze on. Lemon squeeze evenly around. Give it a little kick. You want to keep stirring continuously. You just want to keep it in motion. Make sure everything is getting worked around the wok. And now we're going to throw our seasonings on. Half teaspoon Himalayan pink salt. Just get it around evenly as possible. Give you some balance with the flavor. You know how I do it. Then we got the half teaspoon of cayenne pepper, one of my favorites. We'll get this in, sprinkle it around, get it even. It's gonna really bring out the kick. And last but not least, one of my favorites, we got our powdered ginger. We're gonna go ahead and spread that around. 1/4 teaspoon. You don't need a lot. It's got a lot of kick to it. So we got that in the mix. Then we're gonna go ahead and hit it with a little bit more olive oil, just a couple squirts. Then we're gonna go ahead and get our stir on again. Get that stirred up a little bit more. But we ain't finished. Cause you know, when I marinated the shrimp, you know I went heavy on that OB. I gotta top it off with the OB too. Gotta top it off with a little bit. And then we're gonna stir real quick one more time. We're gonna drop our temperature down from 8 to 5. A little bit more stir. And then we're gonna finish this thing off with a shot of sweet and sour soy sauce. There we go. It's almost ready. Get your stir on a little bit, get it stirred in a little bit. I wish y'all could smell this aroma coming up off of here, man. Just think if they had a scratch and sniff app on your cell phone. Whew, you'll be messed up right now about the smell, this aroma. You know I'm all about aromas. It's undeniable right now. You already know that. Then we want to drop that temperature down to low. Just let it simmer a little bit. You see how it's browning out right there? That's how you want it. You want it to brown up a little bit because now the vegetables, they've gotten tender. Your shrimp is tender. Everything is working. That's that stir fry. You know what I'm saying? That's that stir fry, baby. Look at that. You ready? You see it? Yeah. FTS in that kitchen, man. Y'all know how I do. It's ready to serve. That aroma's coming off. It's coming off in a major way, baby. And we can turn our eye off. Ready to serve it up. See how that's looking. That thing look like came straight out of the bayou, you know it. That's how you gotta do it. That's that bayou stir fry right there when we got working. Yeah. Yeah. I'm dancing again because this food is about to be good. You know what I mean? Check that out. Look at that palette. That's that stir fry, man. FTS did it again, man. Let me check it out. I got my top strip. That broccoli and shrimp. Them exclusively added croutons that only I did. Well, you gotta try this right here at home, I'm trying to tell you. That's that stir fry, man. Might well call it Cajun style. Cause with that seasoning on it, that's exactly what it is. You just gotta be able to absorb that. Cause it is hitting. Trust me when I tell you that. It's hitting for real, man. Give me a little asparagus. Can't beat it. And see, this is something that you can easily make in your own kitchen. You don't have to always order takeout to get stir fry. You can do it yourself. You just need a wok, all of the ingredients, seasonings that you rock with. You got it. Man, that thing's so good. I'm telling you, man. Whew. It tastes like an award winner. Hey, FTS in that kitchen, man. I appreciate y'all joining me. To all the dads out there, happy Father's Day. Everybody have a safe Juneteenth weekend. Make sure you eat you something healthy for the weekend. You know what I mean? We all got to stick together. We all want to be around to live our lives and be productive. Get healthy, baby. Stir fry. All right?